Hello, everyone, and welcome. I'm James Milan, and this is the Town Hall Update. I am joined by our town manager, Adam Chapdelaine. Adam, thanks for joining us as always.
Pleasure to be here.
Let me ask you, first of all, these town hall updates have grown out of a long series of weekly updates that you did around the COVID-19 situation, and we happily were able to, move into a different kind of branding and subject matter with the apparent waning of the pandemic and of COVID-19 in Arlington, and the numbers getting much more encouraging some time back. Now people are beginning to really worry about things again, especially in terms of the Delta variant. And we are awaiting what the governor is going to decide about any changes to state requirements around mask wearing and anything else that is to be decided. So I'd love for you to start by just addressing the concerns that I am hearing, I'm sure you are as well, from Arlington residents about this. What do things look like specifically here in Arlington, and what are you thinking about in terms of any changes that may be necessary?
Absolutely. So I would say that things comparably or comparatively still look pretty good in Arlington compared to different parts of the country and even different parts of the state. That being said, our case count has gone up over the past couple weeks. We were virtually flatlined for quite a while there, like you referenced, and they're starting to tick back up again. So I'm actually reconvening with our COVID leadership team at noon today. So just in a few short minutes to start to look at what the CDC issued just yesterday, what we might expect the state to issue, and what we're thinking about locally. We're not ready to change any guidance today, or probably not in the next few days. I'd really love for guidance to be coming from the state or federal level, so that we're not doing it city or city, town by town. We've done that dance, we've played that game, and it's not a great look. We'd much rather have this done comprehensively, but we are paying attention to it. And I think the last thing I would say as a plug is get vaccinated if you can. Please, if you have not already been vaccinated and you don't have either a pre-existing medical condition or a strongly held religious belief that's preventing you from getting vaccinated, please get vaccinated. I think we've heard the president say we've got two pandemics in this country. One, one between those who are vaccinated, and a different one amongst those that are not vaccinated. So I would, in summation, I would say we're concerned, we're watching it, we're starting to discuss potential next steps, and if you can, please get the vaccine.
All right, and maybe one takeaway is, as you said, you're not planning any imminent changes, and again, even as numbers start to tick up here in Arlington, it's not yet reaching a point of that kind of concern. And again, coming from our local government, which we know over the last year and a half has been very, very careful and cautious and thoughtful and conservative in your approach. Hopefully people can take some reassurance from that, at least in terms of the very local picture here. Okay, moving on. In their last session, the select board gave approval to the Connect Arlington Sustainable Transportation Plan. And I think they are also going to be considering in an upcoming session the same thing in terms of the net zero action plan that we have discussed on this show and on other ACMi programming recently. So can you just connect for us both the approval just given and what you anticipate in terms of the select board looking at the net zero action plan?
Absolutely. So as you mentioned, and I think we talked about it in one of the prior updates, the select board had the Connect Arlington, or the Sustainable Transportation Plan, presented to them at their last meeting by the planning department, and they voted unanimously to endorse that plan. And we expect at the board's next meeting on August 9th to present to them the Net Zero Action Plan, which has been put together by the Clean Energy Future Committee in coordination with staff from the planning department. The connection between these things is we have long worked hard to be a green community and be dedicated to all things sustainable. And I think with these two plans, we're really ramping that up, making our transportation system in and around Arlington more sustainable, while also planning to be net zero by 2050, and the measures that are included within that plan really, I think, maintain our position and hopefully even advance our position on the forefront of climate adaptation, mitigation, and resilience. So I really look forward to staff presenting that plan to the board at its August 9th meeting, and even probably more look forward to the implementation of both the Connect Arlington plan as well as the Net Zero Action Plan. Tied into that, a specific part of the Net Zero Action Plan already moving forward was town meeting taking action to file a home rule petition at town meeting session earlier this year to prohibit the installation of fossil fuel infrastructure in new construction, calling it the Clean Heat for Arlington bylaw. That home rule petition had a hearing before the State Legislative Joint Committee on Municipalities and Regional Government on Tuesday. I had the opportunity to testify on behalf of the bill, along with Amos Meeks from Sustainable Arlington and Pat Hanlon, serving on the ZBA and also a member of the Clean Heat team, as well as hearing testimony from Sean Garbley, Representative Sean Garbley, and State Senator Cindy Friedman. And we pushed really hard to have that legislation passed by the state legislature. We were joined by the communities of Lexington and Brookline, who are also asking for the same or a similar home rule petition to be passed. And it's all part and parcel to our very dedicated effort to try to address climate issues. And I'd like to say proactively. I think, unfortunately, on a global scale, we're behind proactive, but we're trying to do our part here in Arlington.
And just to clarify, what does, if the legislature approves this home rule, what does that mean? Is these home rule initiatives are things or places in which Arlington can move in its own direction? In other words, around things such as fossil fuel infrastructure, et cetera.
Yeah, so with this home rule petition, I keep calling it a bylaw. This home rule petition in particular would allow Arlington via bylaw to prohibit the installation of fossil fuel infrastructure in either new construction or significant renovation or addition. So in a nutshell, without diving into the specifics, if a house is being torn down and built new, it's going to have electric heat, likely through some type of geothermal or air source heat pump system. So really, what we're trying to do is get a foothold in the pipeline, pun intended, of new buildings to try to stop new fossil fuel infrastructure from being constructed.
Great. Let me ask you about a couple of, before we sign off. I've got a couple of kind of rosier things to ask you about. One is that I recently spoke with our state senator, Cindy Friedman, about the 2022 budget that the state has just passed or is in the final stages of doing so. And boy, she, it was a conversation unlike many I've had with her, in which, because this one was about, wow, good news here, good news there, good news everywhere. is a member of the Milwaukee Bucks, now an NBA champ. Um, we here at ACMi doing our best to see if we can't persuade Pat to come back and visit his hometown, and even sit for an interview. We'll see if our efforts pan out or not. But just wanted to get your reaction to that.
I think it's great news. I've never had the opportunity to meet Pat or his family, but for a native Arlingtonian to play on, an NBA championship team or any professional sports level championship team, excuse me, is pretty awesome. And he's a contributor, right? Like I looked at the stat line in the Game 7, the clinching game. He played 23 minutes, pulled down 8 boards. So yeah, I mean, an amazing accomplishment. And again, I don't know him, but I'm sure he's probably through the moon being able to play on a championship team like that. So if you are able to get him back to Arlington, I'd love for the town to be a part of celebrating his achievement.
Well, we're going to keep our fingers crossed and our efforts concentrated on doing so. We will stay in touch about that. All right. Thanks very much for your time, Adam. Anything that you want to mention that we haven't?
No, I think that's been a good update.
All right, great. We will be taking at least 1 week off from these updates, but we will see you in August. We look forward to that and to future discussions. I have been speaking with Adam Chapdelaine, our town manager. This has been the Town Hall Update. I'm James Milan. We appreciate Adam's time and we appreciate yours as well. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you next time.